Just a brief recap of what happened this weekend. You had a bunch of people standing around in Columbia, South Carolina. They're like, we want Bama. We want Bama. And then it was just,
we're going to eat this man alive all game. We're going to eat this man alive all game.
Not so fast, midget. Not so fast.
I got you $1.
Oh, you gotta be quicker.
Bernard in the pistol. Excuse me, in the Wildcat. Jeremy getting the snap. Fakes the flip. Keeps it himself. 20, 15. Jeremy 10. Jeremy 5.
nobody
Jeremy Bernard. Straight to pitch to tie Cincinnati.
I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. 'Cause here we are back where we were before. Seems nothing ever changes. We're back to being strangers, wondering if we ought to stay or head on out the door. 'Cause when it falls apart, well, there's just no easy way. There's just no easy way. There's no easy way to break.
chicken hat or the Cox hat.
Somebody's heart.
Roll Tide, everybody. Welcome to Tide Sports, the Alabama football megacast. Roll Tide, Alabama Nation. Roll Tide. Thank you for thumbing over and joining me on whichever virtual space you have selected today. Tell everybody to lock me in. Buckle up. Let's talk about your Crimson Tide, the greatest football dynasty the world has ever seen. But before we get to rolling, before we get to going, let's just please drop a pound for on a brother and drop it right on that doggone subscribe button. Drop it right down there. You know, next major goal is 1,000, but if y'all want to put me on 5,000 subscriptions, that is fine with me. We're going to keep it going and keep it growing. Only the power of the people can take us to the next plateau for this channel. And always remember, if I successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, please let the algorithm know what's going on and poke that like button right in the eye. Right in the eye. You know, this is off my notes. I go in to do this little vote today, and the dude had on Ohio State. And I said, you know, y'all doing pretty good over there in the Big Four. That dude 80 years old. He ain't back up off me now. Oh, no. He said, who you rolling with? I said, I was going to roll with the Crimson Tide. And then he going to say, they doing all right. He said, but y'all hadn't played nobody. If he wasn't a poll worker, if he wasn't a poll worker, I'm going to leave that man alone. Alabama hadn't played nobody, but they have. The last time I checked, we beat 4 ranked opponents in a row inside the conference. And hey, even when we lost to Florida State, I think Florida State was not even ranked. Then they flashed for a minute and went away. But you look at Ohio State, I think the only ranked team they beat was Texas. More on that later. But Alabama, this weekend, they did it. They went up to Columbia, South Carolina. They went up there with grandma's recipe. They had some little Cajun spices coming out of Louisiana. They brought some stuff down from California. The California season, they fried up some chicken. Alabama's comeback win against South Carolina wasn't just a win. It was a thunderclap. Hit them right in the chest, right in their breast meat. And the polls, they're catching on to the storm. You know what I'm saying? A trap game turned into a test of will right there in Williams-Brice Stadium. I got to look up and see what that actually is because I do not know what it is. And, you know, South Carolina smelled blood. Oh, yeah, we were circling the drain, Jack. The offense was sputtering for 3 quarters pretty much. I'm not even smart enough to delve into that because I can't even tell you. It's not like they was exactly doing something. I guess they were. They were blitzing as much as they possibly could. And I think that whole rotating the line thing kind of caught up with us. But when the lights got the brightest, Alabama didn't blink. They started brawling. Down late with the, SEC everything on the line. We was up against the ropes, We was kind of looking like the rope-a-dope. The streak was on the line, 7 games in a row. The Tide, they reached back. And they came back, and I don't know what y'all saw. I smell a little championship DNA out there on that field. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to get in the playoffs, but I'm saying like that. Those the kind of games I remind everybody. The team that beat Miami 34-13, I think, in the national championship, almost lost the second game of the season. Southern Mississippi, 17-10. Go look up them notes and see how ugly that game was. You need these kind of games, man. 15 points with under 3 minutes left. Let the facts talk to you. Alabama traded in the fourth quarter. Then came an avalanche, a touchdown, a clutch 2-point, conversion to tie, a conversion and a 2. Some people get the touchdown, don't get 2 points. Ours look fairly easy. Or South Carolina was fairly tired. But that forced fumble by Deontay Lawson, oh my God. In the game-winning touchdown, I ain't gonna lie, they allowed that man to score. It was a football thing. He said it in the press conference. He wanted to get the ball back into his playmaker's hands. But, I think dude was busted after that play. I think the team was deflated after the Norris Sellers fumbled that ball. But Alabama showed more than resilience. That's kind of a program flexing this muscle. It's like, yeah, we came out here. We was tired, y'all coming, talking all that stuff. South Carolina thought they had it. And Alabama reminded them who runs the SEC. I don't care who you got. Until Texas A&M beat us, baby, hey, they good. Their record just as good as ours, whatever. It was just we don't even play. Maybe we see him in Atlanta, maybe we don't. I don't know. Social media erupted all the weekend long, but really Saturday evening, it lit up like Brian Daly on a Saturday night. Fans called it the most resilient win of the season, and I think I appreciated it more than the Georgia game. I appreciated it more than the Tennessee game because the boys they didn't just lay down. They put out every stop to win that game. I mean, the analysts were praising it. Everybody saying, "Oh, guess Alabama ain't going nowhere." And then the rivals, all the people. When I was watching the game live, please join me. Usually I'm there by third quarter, but the rest of these games, I'll probably be at least by third quarter. I can't do the whole game. My other stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? I got kisses to give, I got hugs, I got kids to raise. Anyway, I was watching the game, then when we was losing, the eyes started showing. I could see who watching the show. It wasn't nobody hardly watching when we was in between. But the more and more Alabama lucky was gonna lose, people start showing up, viewing me watching the game, about to go crazy. But then they got quiet. Because when Alabama wins ugly, it's still a beautiful thing, and the haters don't like it. I'm talking about when we tied the game, I started doing my Mojo Happy Dance. I'm playing music. I'm crunk. And a dude said, his message in my chat said, "You act like Alabama got this thing wrapped up." I said, "No, that is not what I'm doing." I know his name was Jackson because I called him Mr. Jackson. We very courteous around here. I said, "Mr. Jackson, I'm not saying that Alabama got sold up. I'm looking at the fact that we have a chance. It was 15 or whatever, and it looked like we had a chance. But when we're 22, we certainly have a chance to win this game." And boy, did they come back and get 29-22, 71 overall, and undefeated where it matters most in our conference. That was a roar. That wasn't just survival, people. That was nuts. That was special. According to Sports Illustrated, Alabama comeback, it didn't just preserve momentum, it elevated it. The Crimson Tide climbed in both polls and now are firmly, in the top 6 somewhere right now. We're inside that 12. That's all I care about. Get me in 12 and let's go to town. 4 straight wins, no bye weeks. That's what happened about a month ago, but it's looking like this team is on a mission. I said it was something special. I can't say I had this special every time. I felt a special feeling inside every time Coach Saban won a championship, especially in 2009. Totally blew me away. Although they looked good, 2008. They were improving. I said 3 years, man. I was like, man, no, 3 years, that's kind of quick. But he did it. But 2 or 3 times I did the back-to-back year. I mean, it was just awesome. But I've been saying this, something special inside. Yeah, they still got to work on the run and still got to learn how to run or run the ball better, but it's something going on. Do y'all feel it? It's that mentality. DeBoer has built a culture, and it's cemented, man. It's like more than he's doing more than winning the games. He's building beliefs, and I think he's building beliefs inside this NIL era where all the old school coaches are crying and quitting and complaining, and they say you can't win in this era. What if Coach Kellen DeBoer and several others build a winning philosophy that works in NIL era? Do you know how valuable that man would be? They talking about offering coaches $15 to $25 million now. $25 million. But they didn't totally panic. They adjusted. They didn't flinch when they was down. They kept clawing at it. They got better as kind of going through the third quarter. The defense kind of tightened up. That black hoodie was it was glistening on the sideline. The hood is like a symbol of quiet confidence and ruthless execution, which is what we need. Now we got the bye week. I mean, the boys just probably mentally out of it, but now we get a chance to rest, reload, and refocus, and get ready for the stretch run because it's a lot of football to play. If we are 8 games now, It's really like half season if you have championship aspirations. If you want to win, this is like the middle of the season. Woo! And now we got like a 3/4 to go. We got to finish that off strong. Oh man, the defense has gone from a question mark to an exclamation point. I mean, they did everything that they could do. They didn't stop the run like I wanted to stop the run. You know, Lenore Sellers is 6'3", but he run like his name is Dennis Waddles. Not Dennis Waddles, but Dennis Waddles. No, that's my classmate, Waddles. Y'all know what I'm talking about, 17. Anyway, but the defense was under fire early in the season, but now it's forcing turnovers, closing games, delivering knockout blows. We were about to be, for the first time of the year, we were going to be like lose a turnover margin battle, but because of the Lenore Sellers fumble, we're evening it out. So we still like top 10 team in the country in turnovers. I mean, they're doing everything we need to do. They're delivering knockout blows to people. You know, them strips they get, because I get tired sometimes. I see, man, just hit the man, knock him down, and they stripped at the ball. Did the whole game. Like, guys were getting 3-4 extra yards because they ripping at the ball. But, hey, guess that technique played out. It worked. I mean, I wish they'd just hit him in the chest, give him snot bubbles, and the ball fall back that way. But, you know, you can't lead with your helmet the way you used to be able to lead with your helmet. So you may hit them up under the arm, and they think you hit in the chest, and they call it spearing or something. It's a new day, but it's been just as effective. Do we need to stop the run more? Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe they can get away with it where everybody else can't get away with it. I don't know, because it's working right now. I mean, the secondary, they tighten up a little bit. Front seven started to feast on the quarterback, give him some pressure. And if the unit keeps trending up, you know, Alabama could become a complete nightmare. If they go and make a 50-yard adjustment to the run defense, that defense could become a nightmare to people. Keon Keeley, Yanzi Pierre, And you think Q Russo ain't going to be motivated to come back knowing that he hurt and he could have been probably going into the draft next year? He might be back. LSU, Oklahoma. Definitely probably tested out against who we got? East Carolina is homecoming or something like that. The offense still finding rhythm. They were off rhythm early. I think we called too many pass plays for my liking. We lost that turnover battle real early in that game, but they're still winning. Simpson, he didn't light up the doggone scoreboard like he can do, but he led when it counted. The offensive line held up late, but they was blitzing, man. I think they were really confused on them blitz. They didn't know they even when he got rid of the ball, it was like he took some hellacious hit, but they held up late, and the run game found enough life when it mattered. And Daniel Hill, although his being tackled to the ground percentage was way up in this game. I think he only survived one tackle where he didn't go hit the ground. But the rest of them hit the ground. But he led the team in receiving. A 6'3", 242-pound running back led that team of receivers in receiving yards. Come on, man. Aggressive, calculated, fearless in the fourth. This isn't the 2020 Tide offense. You know, it just isn't. But it don't have to be. It's efficient, opportunistic, and clutch. The big picture. The playoff pulse is real. And let's be clear, Alabama controls its own destiny, which is how we like it. Win out, and the Tide goes to the 12-team playoffs. We know that. Maybe even higher, as I've said. The committee sees the resume, ranked wins, road grit. God, it's crazy that this team, if they did win out, I say 10-2 or better, but if they did win out, it's like they still could go in there and mess up in the SEC championship, but it wouldn't qualify for a bye week. But my thing is, do you really want one? Because I think if I'm not mistaken, everybody that had a bye week last year, they lost. I think every team. I gotta look at that. Because Ohio State, yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if it's going to be a consistent thing. Maybe it's too much sitting around, but they peaking, man. The rest of the SEC, everybody hoping that we fall off. But like I said, hope is not a strategy, nor is it a plan. And the Tide doesn't stumble thus far since dealing with the Cinnamon Rolls, who, man, have they not fallen apart? Have they not fallen apart? This wasn't just a win. It was a warning. Alabama doesn't need total perfection to be dangerous. But they do need belief, execution, a relentless effort for 60 minutes, to quote the GOAT, and a fourth quarter guy, fourth quarter of tenacity. And right now they got it all, man. I mean, they got it all. South Carolina gave them a big scare, maybe a wake-up call like the FSU game. And so they gave us a scare, but we left them with a scar. They broken heart. That program is broken heart. And the reason they played loosey-goosey, we probably could have done some more things, take chances down the field. Man, them boys played their butt off because they ain't had nothing to lose. It was 3-3, 3-4 coming to that game, something like that. They didn't care. They weren't going to no doggone SEC championship. They probably still get a bowl game. They played balls to the wall. They didn't care. People better start watching the Tide, man, with both eyes open. But I don't know what's going to the future of their coach is over there. But Kalen DeBoer, he has been silencing the doubters as of late. I mean, I'm still putting together a compilation of all those videos of people like, well, I don't know if he's the right fit. He don't fit us. You know, this ain't Washington. He is burying the haters under some monumental wins. You know, we got that sideline fire going now. The man who went around whispering all over Tuscaloosa, you know, he probably came in there like, does anybody know where the restroom is? I'm looking for the restroom. No, he ain't doing that now. Now he walks with the weight of the program behind him. You know, people were skeptics. Now, you know, they're talking about, oh, what a great job. But these the same folks said, we're going to have to run them out of here. You know, when he took over from the GOAT, you know, the noise was deafening, man. It was crazy. You know, how did he get to Alabama? You know, and all this stuff. He don't know how to be like, you know, he ain't got no fire to him. When he crying at the national championship, I know a buddy of mine keeps reminding me of that. He an Auburn fan, but he keeps reminding that dude was crying at the national championship. I'm like, I didn't even remember that. But now that noise is turning to a standing ovation. You know, because Tide, they just winning, man. They doing it with grit, edge, every kind of way you gotta do. What was that? Missouri came with defense and running game, still won. Tennessee came, was supposed to be one of the best offenses in the doggone continental United States. I guess that's maybe Oregon or maybe Ohio State. Thought it was Texas, not. But Tide went through it. They're doing it. You know, showing the fire that fans beg for. I mean, the black hoodie just set it off for him. You know, that just made his attitude look darker. I mean, I don't know if he changed, but it made him look like kind of cold. But I see him coming through the doggone tunnel. He's woofing more and more and more coming through that tunnel. The culture shift, man, that's happened. It's not like some Washington East type deal he got going on. This is Alabama, and the boy has adapted like a man that was born for the pressure cooker. And I told people, I thought he was. You don't know, but I thought he was. He's not trying to beat Nick Saban, though. Not Nick Saban 2.0. That would be a waste. That's probably the first time you would fail. You don't try to beat Nick Saban, do what he did. Yeah, you're going to fail like that. You can't build an empire because the times were different. Not like that. But I told people, if you go back and look at his days at the smaller school that he was at, he followed his coach for that little fishbowl they were in. His coach was considered legendary. He followed that man up and won additional championships. I'm like, that gotta mean something. But players they're responding. The locker room is locked in, it seems to be. The sideline, we got to get Ryan Williams' hand locked in a little bit sometime, but he did a damn good job. But he just had one got away from him. I thought his gloves was loose on that play. I don't know. But they're alive, man. They're animated, they're aggravated. I mean, they're aggressive. You know, the boys, he getting in ref's butt, you know, demanding excellence. And, you know, he leading like he knows there is a standard. And he refuses to lower it. Oh, you can't do it? Yeah, come see me. Damani Jackson. Hey, I hope you can get it together the next 2 weeks, bro. Man, you are fading away fast. I don't know what it is. Praying for you, son. I don't know what it is. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Because I can't help you. Your boy don't run nowhere near 5'5", let alone the speed y'all got to do things in. I'm hoping you can get together and get back on the field. Or maybe this is a ploy not to play him so much in 8 games. Maybe he's banged up. Pull him back out for the next, let's hope, 7, 8 games, however many games. It was 4 games. 8, 7, 8 games through the playoffs and the SEC championship, maybe. I don't know what it is, but the proof is in the performance. 4 straight wins over ranked teams. I ain't gonna say it enough. Comebacks, blowouts, defensive dominance, offensive balance. They're surging because they're finding different ways to win, and they're beating teams with different characteristics. South Carolina wasn't all that, but them boys was wild, and they fought like. Have you all ever been in the chicken coop with a pissed off rooster? I have, actually. I have. And it ain't nothing nice. The only thing you're looking for is the gate, or not the hatchet. You're looking for the axe. And I'm like, why is this thing so upset? You didn't care, but I had to get my Babe Ruth on. You know what I mean? Anyway, the play callings have been sharper. Got to run the ball more. Need more balance. Can't let go of that time possession ever again. But the belief is back. Alabama just, we're not just expecting to win. We're expecting to go out there and dominate. He talks about dominating everybody we playing. The Caleb boys fit, all that stuff about that. It's been a race thus far. I mean, the next step is for him to win a championship. Get through this season, get to where he needs to be, where we need to be, back, into the back into the playoffs, and let's see if we can pull out a championship. Let's see. What? Oh, talk about the Alabama game in Japan. Hey, he should be proud of what's going on over here, because them boys, they did a hell of a job, and hopefully this country can make a comeback economically as well. So I get it. So if you still question the fit in Tuscaloosa, you're just not paying attention. And what's up to you? It's me, Roll Tide to you. And the Tide has its identity back. And the boy, he's just not fitting in. He's taking over. He knows there's work to do, though. He knows there's work to do. Alabama, we escaped South Columbia with a win, but the Russian, it lacked everything we need it to be. You know what I'm saying? It looked like a stalled tractor, that was in rather more than a championship engine. It was just, I don't think they ran the ball enough early to get them like juiced up, but I get it. The Tide ground game was sputtering. And if it don't get fixed fast, I ain't gonna lie to you folks, coming to the playoffs, that could be a problem. It's me, got another one. He said, hey, you're gonna have to find a coach at the first. Hey man, I don't know if y'all watching my series on these coaches, man. It's something really interesting going on. That's why I dropped the show on Thursdays, because I want to say more about just what's going on around us, around the Crimson Tide, around college football. Not everybody firing coaches to go get the best coach, who you don't know who's the best coach. Lane Kiffin, he has how many national championships? How many SEC championships? And then, like, if Lane don't leave Ole Miss for personal reasons, they say his son's starting quarterback right now. That ain't hard. That ain't easy to come by. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this world who never got a chance to start. And we hire Lane at whatever schools. He's just gonna come. Hey kid, you on the bench. We got Lane's kid. I don't know how that works. I'm sure they can work it out, but his son is starting quarterback there somewhere around Oxford, Mississippi, and that means a lot. It may mean more than you think. Maybe like, well, if you can let him, graduate, they're not gonna come holler at you. I don't know. Maybe that's. But I'm just saying, how is everybody going to go out and get a better coach? And then I'm trying to determine, how are some schools who don't have a chance, to be honest, of winning their conference, let alone national championship, why are they firing coaches? Do they determine like, oh, man, they're not buying that merch. They ain't buying them tickets. Doggone, the hot dog sales is down. So we got this clown got to go. 6 years of this madness. So I'm just wondering, how in the world is everybody going to get a coach at the same time? Even at the upper echelon. I mean, is Oregon State an upper echelon school, or they just worried about not having a program? Here's a thought. People are going back and forth about Gainesville because of the competition. Told people a long time ago, way before I started this show, the talent is watered down in Florida because there are too many. See, they got about 90. No, they got about 65 stars every year, but they're going to about 6 different schools now. And it's still really kind of wide open. I said it, after Bobby Bowden died, after he retired, really, and passed away, because when he was making phone calls, like Saban making phone calls for Florida State when he was alive. But when he died, I said this whole state gonna fall apart. It's gonna be up for grabs. Nobody's grabbed it yet. Miami's getting close to grabbing it, but the Carson Beck thing, that's a problem. But you got UCF. I can go play on TV with UCF, ball out of control, never leave Tampa Bay. I can go over to UCF, USF. Go to Disney, wherever. Man, we got tickets to Disney, wherever they get. Man, they give us annual passes, man. We get 50% off on food. They got that doggone barbecue down there. You can go in any of the parks, and you can pay $20. You can eat free all day, dog. It means something. Don't mean something to a lot of people, but yeah, it ain't. And have anybody ever been to Tallahassee, Florida? Tallahassee is not necessarily the place where the millennials trying to get in. I mean, I had fun down there at the Moon. You know what I'm saying? Prince played the Moon one time. But outside of that, it ain't Miami. It definitely ain't Tampa Bay. And they don't have a big fat rat like Orlando does. I've been talking about that stuff. Hey, you waited too long, too many good jobs out there for a good coach. That's what I'm saying. And then you got to find out who's the good coach. Even in the case of Brian Kelly, I know Kelly is really, he's kind of like the boy, but like instead of cussing people out, he cusses people out like the auntie. He's like, boy, you better, you ain't supposed to come to church smelling like that. What's wrong with you? That's how he cusses people like the auntie. It ain't like Saban, It's just and then I don't think he gets the respect when he's cussing people out, and it just don't turn into wins. I don't know what to say about that dude. But he has like a 71% winning percentage. Where you gonna go replace that? You got rid of Ed Orgeron, you got rid of the Mad Hatter. This man got a higher winning percentage than all of them. And now people are saying, just like this, Nick Saban. And like Miss Ann said, I hope, she said she don't know how much money they offering. So we not gonna say no just right, because mama gotta have that money. And that's all right. Give Nick Saban $20 million. You are out of your freaking mind. Because I referenced one Bill Belichick. Now, yeah, Bill Belichick got this girl in his ways, he kicking it over there like he in high school. But let me tell you something. That is a dude that's not working hard. And I think that Saban knows that. Am I going I listened to Lane Kiffin the other day. Saban recruited 365 days out of the year. Yeah, that's holidays. Yeah, that's Sundays. At 70, whatever he is, I don't give him the money. Give him the money. You heard it here first. 10-win season, probably pretty easy for him. It would be, but they won national championship. They won national. Urban Meyer, yeah. You got a bar in town he can buy into and get free beers and lap dances? Call him over there. That's your best bet. But there's only one Urban. James Franklin. Right under 70% winning percentage. He'll be a great coach for somebody that just want to have revenue, and maybe he can trip up and get deep in the playoff and win one. He's a great recruiter. Penn State got rid of him. Penn State said, man, beat it. Get out of here, James. Like, you're not good enough. Now I got all kind of rooms all in there. I got the guy, what's his name? Lanning. They got Lanning going to LSU. That may actually work, to be honest, because he got that fire, and maybe he don't have something that. But remember, Brian Kelly said, I'm going to the SEC because we can't get these kind of players here at Notre Dame. I'm going to get these SEC players so I can win a national championship. Franklin may take it. Get that money. Get that money. I think his contract is set up where he gets $8 million a year, but if they only paid him $6 million, which they won't, Penn State makes a difference. It's crazy. It's like he got a rebate on his contract. That's real crazy. But this win for Alabama was gritty, but the run game, man, the rushing offense is kind of a mess. Against one of the worst defenses in the SEC, they didn't impose their will. Daniel Hill and Jam, they combined for like 66 yards on 21 carries, and that's just not SEC football. That's a red flag. I mean, Auburn, for instance, Auburn has a good defense overall. So we getting that sputtering against Auburn, and I don't know, they got a better quarterback playing now. Yeah, let that have been the Iron Bowl passion, the Iron Bowl, just that throw the records out the window and we go play Auburn like we play South Carolina on that cursed field down there in Lee County, Alabama. That's a loss. I don't care what you do against Oklahoma. I don't care what you do to LSU. That's a loss. And I'm going to raise my hand and say it. I didn't know the front half of our season looked so terrible. I don't know if it took me FSU to wake up or actually playing the games against the Georgia and all that. I don't know what it was, but I was so just worried because I'm always thinking like with Saban, the season was always backloaded. Oh, here comes, oh, Jesus, here comes LSU. Oh, my God, LSU. I remember when it was LSU and then Mississippi State would give you just a tough game, and then you had to play Auburn. Now it's like, I see Auburn. I ain't looking too far down the road. It's a bye week. I see Auburn, but LSU, we got to be careful of that UCLA factor. Somebody comes and rallies the troop and come in there and just catches with something we don't need to be caught with. I was glad to hear, and I'll get to that in a minute, that some changes were made out of LSU with their coaching staff that I really am pleased to hear about. But Carolina came in allowing 170 yards rushing per game. We barely cracked half of that. That would have been 85, by the way. We got 66. The offensive line, we were missing Geno Vandermark, fifth year senior, or with a red shirt, because he transferred down here from Michigan State. He was highly touted coming out of high school. He played Michigan State. I think he started 2 years and he just left because, Michigan State wasn't going nowhere. But he was used sparingly last year. But, I mean, is he the cog in the line that was just going to keep us, got us a running game going? I don't know. Jaden Robinson was over there on the right side and Wilkin Formby. Of course, you had your man in the middle, Parker. You had Big Proctor out there, but whoever was playing left guard, I don't know. They just picked up a lot of blitzes, and I know they like to rotate their linemen. But I'll tell you one thing: next year, I don't know they want to consider getting a new offensive line coach, but it seems like these guys are really getting seasoned for next year. So they have seen it all. They saw it all after South Carolina. I know Oklahoma's going to come with a lot of blitzes and stuff that we may or may not be ready for, but they saw a lot against South Carolina. But we have to get this thing back under wraps. They did good against was it Tennessee or Missouri, one of them running the ball, but the backs just kept running the traffic. Play calling they lacked rhythm, didn't have that finesse we were used to. And I saw it as a problem, something that really needs to be worked on. The running game Alabama's running game is mostly finesse, and it's not enough fury. Even when they take the ball and they run it straight toward the sideline, that ain't Alabama, man. Maybe with a receiver, but our running backs with his chest facing the coach, break the line of scrimmage, get to the second level, and see if you can get somebody a stiff arm and just run past the doggone DBs. Ty Simpson's shoulders are getting heavy. He bailed the tide out again, throwing darts when he had a chance, when he had time, leading the comeback. But if the running game keeps disappearing, defenses are going to start teeing off on them. That's what happened in that game on the defensive side. Why we didn't switch things up, I don't know. But that's what we didn't have a time. But balance isn't a luxury for a football team, as I always tell my Auburn people and people that are Gus Malzahn fans. It's a necessity. And Alabama's offense, I think we're leading a little bit heavy on the pass because there may be a team out there, too, that really has a stellar backfield. I heard that Ohio State, they got a pretty good guy in that backfield that we may know really pretty well. And his compatriots are pretty good, too. So we need to be able to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Just too much, man. The running game is just limping along like it just forgot its doggone cleats. But Alabama scored 15 unanswered. The defense made some clutch plays, but don't let the scoreboard fool you, folks. That was a doggone struggle. If you just, and to the fans out there who are not in place, because people was texting me like, what's happening? What you mean, what's happening? You ain't gripping your TV like this? Where are you? Well, I had to go to a conference. A conference? There ain't no TVs out there. I just knew so. The whole day I figured people was just taking this game for granted. We couldn't control the tempo. We couldn't chew on the clock. We couldn't punish the South Carolina's front. And we just weren't playing on championship football. We were surviving for 3 quarters. Alabama's rushing offense it's just failing. I mean, just after 8 games, it ain't what it need to be, especially with all those backs back there, man. If it don't get fixed, man, the playoff dream is gone. I know it may not get you in the first one, but the second game in the playoffs is going to get kind of wonky. I'm expecting for teams with good defense to show up. Of course, yeah, they ain't playing nobody. I don't need to hear about that. But I think good defense is going to show up, and then you get. If South Carolina can take you to the brink, if FSU can beat your brains in, and South Carolina can take you to the brink, definitely a 12-team playoff team, any one of them, with your lack of running game and the inability to stifle the run, can cause you some problems. So you got to fix it. I mean, that doggone. I mean, I don't know what to say. The board just better, light a fire on the offensive line and Coach Kapilovic. And, or the next ranked opponent, man, may just expose it, man. Just exploit the whole thing, man. But as we move into the bye week, I want to say a word about our next opponent. LSU fired Brian Kelly, y'all. And in true Baton Rouge fashion, they immediately started dreaming like, these delusions, because this is what my man's talking about right now. Saban gets $25 million on TV. He ain't going nowhere. Is that $25 million a year? I don't think he's going nowhere either way. But like Miss Terry said, we got to hear these deals. Because, I mean, you got to hear these deals. I mean, they get that man 25. No. Okay, so if he's getting $25 million, I'm thinking maybe that's a year, because I know ESPN got a lot of money. But if you're getting $25 million a year, you got to pay that man about $40 million to come off the bench. And any athletic director who signed that deal, he should be fired immediately. It's going to turn to a Bill Belichick situation without the younger, what is that, the April, October, what do you call it, May, October relationship, because Miss Terry, that wouldn't be the problem. It's just like he get the job, he sit there, he get the new clothes on, and he sit there, he be like, y'all want to do what? Y'all don't have recruiters for that? He start looking like other coaches that we know about who don't like recruiting that much. You like their team, let their team do it, or make phone calls and don't leave the state, but you want people to come to your school. As the world's turning, SEC is tough. Saban struggled his last 5 years running the ball. I know, but we got to figure it out. Yeah, you definitely got to figure it out. And like I said, who knows? LSU comes in there and allow you 0 rush yards, and you throwing the ball all night in a shootout or something with Nussmeier. I don't want to see that. But like I said, back to LSU, they fired him, and then they got these delusional dreams coming about, talking about Saban. Saban would come back to rescue their purple circus. Spoiler alert, not happening. And if you break the bank, to break the bank open to make it happen, you will regret it. You heard it here first. And the way this unfolded, it's just peak LSU, man. Desperate, delusional, and still living in 03. A dumpster fire for a finale for the latest coach, who I will remind you, he has, I think, a 71% winning percentage. He never should have left Notre Dame, but that's his problem. Ego got the best of him. Man, you came up the hard way. What, he was at FCS school, Cincinnati. He worked his way up, got to Notre Dame, and you turn your back on Notre Dame disrespectfully, and therefore you got to pay, because you thought these people were going to sit around here and just let you cuss out kids and point at that kid did it and this, that, and the other, and you ain't have to let nobody, some kid die in a lift that was a cameraman. No, you ain't have to get that crazy. Tell them, no, don't come down, you're gonna be okay. Yeah, you ain't get no, you just didn't beat everybody and win a national championship. You don't even realize that was okay at Notre Dame, because they bought that money. You ain't got to win on that championship. You just got to win. I think them people, they see the tea leaves. We ain't playing nobody. We going to the playoffs. We getting a bunch of checks. You know, we get these boys a little something, and we good. But no, you turn your back on that. 49-25 beat down by Tammy. Tammy beat you down. And that wasn't a loss, man. That was a resignation letter written in like scoreboard font. I resign. Kelly, the man who was supposed to bring order to the Cajun chaos, they wanted that man gone 2 years ago. He got run out of town, man. Better than a bad crawfish broil. Is that what they call it, crawfish or crayfish? I don't know. I can't eat it. And LSU, they didn't just fire him. They let, you know, it's like they let a fuse. And this is why I know these teams are out of sort. Penn State still ain't named nobody. I thought they was gonna name a coordinator. They brought 2 coordinators in brand new. They just want their players when the portal open. They just want them to run. They want everybody to leave. Maybe Penn State is just divested from football. They're like, you know what? F it, we can't go. we're gonna go ahead and fall back to the middle, win 7 games in the Big Ten. I can't believe they're doing that, but somebody should have. It's some coaches on the sideline. Ed Orgeron is out there somewhere. The Mad Hatter is out there. I think he's a little old, a little longer than 2. Saban's out there. You know, I want somebody to hire Saban for $100 million for 3 years. Who else out there? Urban Meyer. His back's feeling good. His children are grown, so he ain't trying to spend no time with them no more. Like he said when he left, was it Florida? No, Florida was chest problem. Ohio State was when he wanted to spend more time with his kids, and they called him at the bar with somebody else's daughter. So I don't know. The Saban rumors, they swirl because, you know, LSU fans can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying? They immediately started whispering, Nick Saban, you know, yes, that's Nick Saban. And them tell you how crazy this guy. Nick Saban sold his house, and this is what really set people on fire. The house went back on the market according to some article I saw. I don't know how official it was. His house, Nick Saban's house, which he sold out of, it went back on the market this week. So everybody's like, oh, see, so it's driving them crazy down there. So yeah, if Nick Saban, he left them to build a dynasty in Tuscaloosa, retired with 7 national championships, one attributed to LSU, the one who turned LSU into a stepping stone on his way to immortality, and now they think he's coming back. If Saban did anything, he'd probably go to Florida. Dummies. Some of the Florida fans, not my people. But I think he'd go to Florida if he did anything, and he may go to Penn State and rob them blind. Because I would go to the place that got the most. And you know what? It's me. He probably still could go back to doggone ESPN on the off season or whenever they fire him or they come to an agreement. Like they say Bill Belichick is trying to sign an agreement to lead the program. That's what they say they're working on. They've been saying that for a month. But he wants his son to be the coach. So I think he's trying to work that out. ESPN had that man back in the heart because he's still going to have 7 national champions. He's still going to be known as the GOAT. But you got to get out there and get that money, unless you care about your legacy and records and all that stuff. So they think he's coming back. I don't think that's really hope. That's kind of a hallucination. And thank God for Kristen Saban, you know, Saban's daughter. She didn't mince her words on Instagram. When she called, she heard about the rumor and she said, some of y'all, open quotes, because Amy, he said, some of you, open quotes, some of y'all are literally brain dead. That's not a denial. It's an execution of the LSU fantasy. And if you're still holding out hope that Saban's coming back to Baton Rouge, you might want to check your IQ and the amount of blood that's flowing through your brain. LSU's reputation problem, it's just be honest. They got a problem down there. LSU, it isn't a destination anymore. If they would have kept them, maybe it would be, but it's not a destination anymore. I tell you, there's a lot of these schools. People from Louisiana tell me Baton Rouge, Red Stick, that's French. Baton Rouge is not Louisiana, it's not New Orleans. Baton Rouge is not New Orleans. So if you are a 345 star, and they give you, I don't know, $50 to $500,000. Where you want to hang out at? ATL, Mickey Mouse, hour away from Mickey Mouse in Gainesville, Miami, Tuscaloosa, because Tuscaloosa is where legends are made. Still, where you want to go? You ever driven out by Baton Rouge? I have. I've been to Baton Rouge, been to Monroe. Ain't going back. You ever been out to Baton Rouge? Huh? You want to go Copeland's or little restaurant? No. You got $100,000. Where you in? LA? Huh? I'm just saying. I may want to go kick it in Maryland with Coach Loxley up there in Maryland. Why? Because it's close to DC. Hey, it's close to DC. I got my own reasons. But LSU is a cautionary tale. Coaches go there, they get paid, and they get fired. Fan base is impatient. The administration is chaotic, and the expectations are delusional. You don't build dynasties in Baton Rouge. You survive hurricanes and Mardi Gras. Now, here's the thing. Now, I could get into some stuff about Saban, but go out there and look at one of Saban's recruits and say what he did. I'll say one thing about why I finally think Nick Saban lost. This man, and I don't want to get into this man said, you got to look it up and see how he said. He said Nick Saban integrated LSU. I'm not going to say no more than that. And without Saban, LSU is just another program with a tiger mascot and a trophy case that is collecting dust. Bryce Underwood. They had him locked up, $4 million. Michigan came in. Whoop, he's in Ann Arbor, freezing his jelly beans off. But he's making like $8-9 million, something like that a year. Meanwhile, in Tuscaloosa, the empire rolls on while LSU is chasing ghosts. Alabama's chasing rings. Kalen DeBoer has the Tide sitting high on top of the polls, steamrolling through the SEC. Yes, steamrolling. Because I would say this, unlike Mr. Ohio State man, who's talking about we ain't played nobody, can we get somebody on our schedule who's in our conference we can beat by 45? Huh? I think Ohio State got to have about 3 of them. Is there somebody? Because does Kentucky give up 45-point losses to anybody? Can we add them to our schedule? Man, the fear factor, it's just left LSU. Ain't nobody afraid of them no more. They whatever they had, it's gone. It's just shifted past the post-Saban era. The results have not. They're terrible. We've shifted past the post-Saban era in Tuscaloosa, but the standard hasn't. We still want you to win. You know what I'm saying? LSU, they don't have no standard. They're still trying to figure out how to beat Texas A&M, for Christ's sakes. I don't know if y'all remember, they kind of struggle. I think they struggled with Texas A&M before he got in the league. LSU's firing Brian Kelly was inevitable. Thinking Nick Saban would come back, that's laughable. The man who left on his own terms, built a legacy somewhere else. Now he's breaking down ESPN game, according to It's Me, making $25 million some kind of way just to sit there and bump his gums. You don't replace failure with fantasy. You got to rebuild LSU. And when I say LSU, you're just stuck in rubble, man. You got to replace this stuff you got going on down there. It's always this madness coming up with all kind of just ideas. As soon as Brian Kelly 3 years ago lost a key game, could have been in Alabama or before Alabama, they've been all over him. Matter of fact, Saban was still there. There's a guy, Mad Dog or something, on the radio, on the podcaster down there. He played at LSU and everything. He went off on him. Bobby Hebert went off on him. That was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. They wanted that man gone, even before they lost Bryce Underwood. But it is what it is. Punks jump up to get beat down, and the Crimson Tide rolls on. It's Me says, Rumor Mill says that Saban bought a pro sports team in Tennessee. Hey, he might as well. He got the Ferraris and the Mercedes to sell to him. I don't know if they sold a dealership. I heard he sold a dealership and it made him a billionaire. It was $900 million was his side of the sale or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. And this is just a fun fact. I don't know the guy's name who he partnered with to get these dealerships rolling. The guy is a multi-billionaire. Saban has committed himself to becoming a billionaire, and that guy is his mentor. All of us need mentors. You know what I'm saying? All of us, mentoring works. And just please don't, mentor somebody just sit around talking stuff. Make sure they have actually done it. It's Me says, Saban said NIL money made the donors the coach. Ooh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why he ain't coming back. And I've always thought this. Like I said, NIL era, you can't lie to him. You can't dog him out without establishing a relationship first. What if Caleb DeBoer and a few others crack the code? Even Ryan Day. What if he's cracked the code? You know it's all a code, right? You're like, I can't make these teenagers get nothing through their head. Yeah, I'm in that boat. But what if Caleb DeBoer has cracked the code? What if him and Courtney Morgan and the others and the what if they crack the code? But do you need to be at Alabama to crack the code? I don't know. Can he crack the code at USC? Can you crack the code at Oregon, Ohio State? Because Ohio State just poured a bunch of money on it, but is that going to work every year? Do you still have to treat people with respect? You have to tell them the truth. Can't lie to them. You have to establish a relationship with grown men who you want to play hard football and tell them, hey, son, it's going to hurt. And if you're not in the hurt, don't come around here and give me my $750,000 back. Don't take it because it hurts. I don't know. That's exactly what it is. It hurts. It's different days, a different age, to take a different coach. So maybe Caden come in a little on the lighter or softer side. He toughens up to the middle, and the players, they meeting him. And what if he figured it out? That remains to be seen. But I'm gonna get out of here. It's time to get started with this bye week. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. And I just want to say what's up to my people out there. Oh, remember, poke that like button right in the eye, make it red, need some clear salt in there. And I want to shout out to the B Sharp and the Sharpshooters Podcast, Kangaroo Black, Bama Moore, Long Run with Piano Man, Rags and Fitness. Oh man, I want to thank all those guys. And it's me. And I'm not sure who As the World is Turning represents, but I want to thank all those guys for making Alabama great always. And I want to just hope that these other podcasters and their teams have a wonderful bass fishing season. I don't know when it starts. I don't really care. I just hope they go all the way to the championship. So peace out to the brothers at Auburn Addicts, Water Cooler Podcast, Bubba and the Old Man. It's SEC season. Up-Tempo Podcast with man Justin Huggy Beard, aka the Rooster Matt, and Vandy Chris, who, hey, Vandy Chris, have you made your playoff reservations yet? Yeah, I don't think y'all going to a bowl game. Y'all got other things to take care of. What if Alabama played Vanderbilt again? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great bass season and that your football season leaves a lot to be desired. Like I said, check in with me during the week. Turn those notifications on. I'm going to drop a couple things out there on you. I got something to say about this gambling that's going on. Everybody's like, oh, they got stuck in gambling? Oh, I got something to say about that. I got something to say about this coaching carousel every week because somebody else going to get fired pretty soon. So I will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. live right here on Around the Herd. Folks, thank you for chiming in. Share this with your friends. Tell them to come holler at your boy because we're going to have a good time. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right here on Around the Herd. And you know how I do it. Always remember, folks, roll, tide, roll.